Hello, is the slide is visible?
Sir, the screen is visible, sir. The slide is not yet visible.
Okay, just a minute, just a minute. Now,
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir. Sir, but not in a full screen mode. Yes, sir.
now,
Then it's okay.
okay. Okay, so very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Lakshmikant Pandey, uh, Head Department of Biotechnology from Central Aloysius College, Jabalpur. So today I'm here to give my talk on the topic innovative teaching methodologies, and I'm just going to give a special emphasis on the project-based learning. So before I start my presentation, I just want, if you are planning for a year, so rise. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. And if you are planning for lifetime, educate people. So what I mean to say that education is not for the preparation of for life, but education is life itself. So if you look at the teaching profession, so teaching is one profession that creates all other professions. So what I mean to say that teaching is very important. And if you look at the teaching methodology, there is a gradual evolution in what the way we are teaching or the ad we are using in the teaching. So if you look at the teaching methodology, so there is a dramatic and drastic changes the way we are teaching. So in this particular lecture, I am going to present my views under following subheadings. So is the slide is I'm changing the slides. Is it visible or not?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
So I'm on second slide right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. So I'm going to discuss the topic under the following subheadings. First is introduction. Then what are the traditional teaching methods? Because the topic is innovation in teaching methodology. So to understand what innovations are right now going on. So for that, we should know what are the traditional teaching methods available and what are their merits and the demerits. And because of that, we are moving towards the innovation in the teaching methodology. Then I'm going to discuss about the learning pyramid, then Bloom's taxonomy, then few important topics or innovations in the teaching methodologies. And after that, I'm going to give you the detailed information, detail about the PBL methodology. It's called the project-based learning. So first of all, introduction. If the slide is visible, third slide, ma'am.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Oh, so a sound education system is the prerequisite for the development of a nation. As I initially I told you that we are not means the teachers are not only creating it's not only single job, it's mainly creating the different kind of professions. So that's why teaching is very important thing in the development of the society, development of the state, development of the country, development of the globe. So if you look at the different teaching methodology, so there is different opinion regarding the use of traditional teaching methods and the modern teaching methods, because The earlier people are used to for using the traditional teaching method, so they are not willing to cope up with the new technology which has been inculcated in the present day teaching methodology. So this is one of the problem which we are facing. And some people say that traditional teaching methods are best for imparting the education in the students, while some favor that we should use modern teaching methodology for giving quality education. As I told you, there is a difference in the opinion. So difference in the opinion is very important, and it's an obvious thing, and it's very important to get some innovative ideas in regarding any kind of subjects. So the difference in opinions is very important thing. Now, if you look at the traditional teaching methods, so traditional teaching methods mainly confine, you can say that, onto the chalk and talk methods. So if you look at the traditional teaching methods, so those methods mainly emphasis on the how the students are going to revise their notes or try to memorize the notes. That means the older teaching methods are mainly the it's not student centric, but it is mainly to the teacher centric or the educator centric. So the main objective of traditional teaching method is to pass the examination. Means we are the source of knowledge, and we are giving, as an educator, we are giving the knowledge or the information to the student, and by using those knowledge and the information, the students are memorizing the notes, and they are just using those knowledge for create for passing their examination. So traditional teaching methods, no doubt, it's a it's a it's a it's a method that is to give the knowledge among the students. But along with this, the traditional teaching method also has their own demerits and the merits. Now, if you look at the merits of the traditional teaching methods, so the first merit is that it is very cheaper than the modern teaching methods. If you look at the modern teaching methods, so there are different types of gadgets are involved, like the a PowerPoint presentation, like we are using the laptop, we are talking about the smart classrooms. So it's a very cost effective, it's very costly business. So if you look at the traditional teaching methods, as I told you, like chalk and talk methods, we are using the blackboard and we are using the chalk to disseminate the information, disseminate the knowledge among the students. So these methods are very cheaper. This is a very good advantage of the older teaching methods. And if must have some of you must have feel that there are some certain subjects, as I mentioned over here, like mathematics and the chemistry, so it can be taught in a better way when we are going for the blackboard teaching methods or the chalk and talk methods. And one more very good merit or the advantage of the chalk and talk method is that there is a more interaction between the teachers and the students. So no doubt it is more focused, or you can say it is a more teacher centric method rather than the student centric method. But there is an interaction between the teacher and the students. But the thing is that the students are not involved in the teaching. This is one of the demerit of the traditional teaching method. But no doubt there is a good interaction between the teachers and the students. This is also one of the good advantage of the traditional teaching methods. And one more thing, as I initially told you, that the teachers of the uh, past generations, yeah, they are not very much used to of the technology, and because of that, teachers are not very much comfortable with the new teaching methodology. So in the traditional teaching method, teacher does not require any special technical knowledge and can focus more on his subjects for imparting the best knowledge to the students. This is one of the very good merit or very good advantage of the traditional teaching methods. Because nowadays, what is happening? We are more focusing on the different types of gadgets which we are going to which we are going to use in the teaching methodology. and we are giving more time to understanding or how we are going to use those gadgets. And because of that, the maximum numbers of teachers are not giving ample of time, sufficient time to gain the knowledge. And this is one of the, this is actually what I really feel, that we are not nowadays, we are not learning through the books. And same thing for the students. Students are also not they're the reading habits gradually getting decreasing because of these kind of upgradation in the technology, in the teaching methodology. So this is one of the good merit, you can say, the advantage of this. Say that the teachers in the past time, the teachers has ample of time to give those times, and the teachers can engage their time into the acquiring the knowledge that is very beneficial for the students. Now, if we talk about the learning pyramid, as I told you, there is a merits and the demerits of the older teaching methodology. So if you look at the learning pyramids, you can see in this pyramid, like if you are using the lecture method, like in Blackboard method, you are what you're doing, you are just giving the information to the students. The students are actually, they are having interaction with you, but the same time they are not involved in the teaching. Because of that, if you look at the lecture method, if you look at the lecture method, so there's a retention of the knowledge is 5%. So this is the learning pyramid. And if you look at the reading method, means if the students is reading, if the students is listening, so he can retain not more than 5%. This is what this learning pyramid says. And if the students is reading, as I told you, nowadays the students are not the reading habit is gradually decreasing. Means they are not reading the books. This is the very one of the demerits of nowadays students. Now the students are doing. So this is not good thing. So if the students is reading, so there is a retention of knowledge is 10%. And if he's listening or seeing something, some information, so the retention of knowledge is 20%. And if you're doing some sort of demonstration and students are watching those demonstration, and because of that, the retention rate for the knowledge is 30%. So if you look at the other methods like discussion, group discussion, practice by doing, this is what I'm going to discuss in the detail, that is called the project based learning, practice by doing. So the retention of knowledge is at around 75%. So if you look at the different methods, it can be classified into two broad categories. One is called the passive teaching methods like lecture, reading, audio visual, demonstration. And second broad category is participatory teaching method. It includes discussion, practice by doing, you can say the activity based learning or project based learning, and some other method. So there is a vast difference between the knowledge retention. So this is what we call the learning pyramid. Now, we come to the modern teaching methods. If you look at the modern teaching methods, so in last decades, the use of high-tech equipments in the educational institution is increased with a rapid rate. And this is very much true, like after the COVID period. Before the COVID period, the involvement of the high-tech equipments were very less. But after the COVID, as we because of the COVID, the offline classes are not possible for 2.5 years, and because of that, we are moving towards the online classes. And for online classes, there are different kind of technology are needed, and because of that, there is a rapid incorporation of high tech equipments in the education institution as well. Now there are lots of modern gadgets which can be used for improving the teaching in the classroom. Here is the list of most popular equipments which can be used in the modern teaching. Like as I told you, as I mentioned, the use of computers, laptops with Wi-Fi connection in the classroom, and the smart boards, smart classroom. Nowadays, it's very common to have the smart classrooms in the education institution, but they are very costly if you compare with the older teaching methods. conventional teaching methods. So they are a little bit, or you can say not little bit, it's very much costly as compared to the older teachings. So some important gadgets can be used. Now, the merits of the modern teaching methods. So if you look at the, so it has many merits. If you look at the merits of the modern teaching methods, it has many merits. Like one, as I mentioned over here, the more interest among the students with the help of interesting animations and videos. That is a very good thing. If the students means what I meant to say over here, that the involvement of students in teaching is very important. If you look at the older teaching methods, so there is involvement of the teacher was more, but students involvement was very less. But if you look at the uses of the modern teaching methods, so there is involvement of the students also taking place. So nowadays the teachings are the student centric, and because of that, the educators are more can create more interest among the students by using those gadgets. Research has also shown that use of visual media for teaching helps the students to understand the subject better, and also helps students to memorize the concept of longer time. As I mentioned in the in the learning pyramid, like if you're using the usual visual or the usual media, visual and the audio media, you can increase the knowledge retention rate, and the same thing can be happen over here. So with the help of modern teaching methods, teacher can cover more syllabus in lesser time. Yeah, that is very important merits of the teaching method, modern teaching method. If you're going if you're going to use the PowerPoint presentation in place of chalk and talk methods, so you can cover your syllabus in lesser time in with compared to the uh, previous methods like the blackboard methods. So this is also one of the good merits, good advantage of the modern teaching methods. And videos and animation used in the modern teaching methods are more explanatory than the traditional blackboard method. That is there because if I'm explaining certain topics, and the topics comprises of different kind of diagrams, and if you're going to draw the diagram on the blackboard, so it will take much time, it will take more time. And if you're using the PPT, or you are going to explain those topics which comprises of different kind of diagram by using the videos, so you can complete, or you can explain those topics in a very effective manner in a very lesser time. So these are some merits of the modern teaching methods. Now, so now we had discussed about the different methods, means the blackboard methods, what are their merits and the demerits, and we had discussed about the modern teaching method, what are their merits. Now we come to the next part of now I'm coming to the next part of my presentation, how to bring innovation in the teaching. So to bring innovation in the teaching, the Bloom's taxonomy can help you in a better way. So if you look at the Bloom taxonomy, there is the six criteria when you are designing your presentation, or you can say your lecture. So you just keep these 6 points in your mind. Like the first thing is remember. To remember means recall facts and the basic concept. So there's some question arises like define, duplicate, list, memorize, repeat, set. So Bloom taxonomy, it can help you design your class lecture, as well as Bloom taxonomy also helps in the evaluation of what you have taught in the classes. So for evaluation and for designing your syllabus, designing your course, designing your presentation in an effective manner, Bloom taxonomy helps. So first thing is if you look at the pyramid, the base is the remember. Second is the understand. To understand means explain ideas or concepts. So there are different proverbs are used like classify, describe, discuss, explain, identify, locate, recognize, report, select, translate, and many more. Now the third is apply. So how information in new situations can be used to execute, implement, solve, use, demonstrate, like we are going for the practical classes. So for that, the main question is that how we are going to apply those knowledge in the mankind uses or society uses. Now the fourth point is analyze. So So by this you can draw the connections among the ideas. So there are differentiate, organize, relate, compare, contrast, distinguish, examine, experiment, questions, test. Now the second last is the evaluate. Evaluate and create. Last is the create. Evaluation, creation is very important. Like as now I'm going to discuss in my coming slide, I'm going to discuss about the in detail about the project based learning. So the main motto of the project based learning is to evaluate and the create, and after that the analyze. So evaluation and the creation. The whatever you are teaching to the students. So is that knowledge is going to create some new product. So that is very important. So when you are going for disseminating any information or designing your codes, so just keep these 6 points in your mind. This is called the Bloom taxonomy. So this is good for the designing the course as well as for the evaluation. What how we are going to evaluate that the whether the information is disseminated in the proper way to among the students or not. The Bloom taxonomy is going to definitely help you. Now the next thing is the educator and the generation acts. Educator and generation is means the person who is teaching and whom we are going to teach, the students. If you if you look at the today's generation, if we talk about the today's generation, so it is named as a generation Z. Normally what we name generation X, because today's generation is something different. It is more smart, more you can say that if you compare the educator and the generation Z, so we are in some way, because there is an involvement of different types of gadgets in the teaching methodology, and because of that those gadgets can be used in a better way by the students sometimes. So there is a difference between the educator and the generation Z. So we need to fill those gaps, means exactly what the today's generation is looking for from the education institution, because the educator is not only to give the information or the source of knowledge, because nowadays what happens, everything is available on the Google. So the today's generation Z is one click away from all the information. So he has all the information. So educator is not going to is not going only for to become the source of knowledge or the source of information. So we need to be little bit more innovative in the way we can disseminate the knowledge among the students, because as I told you in the Bloom taxonomy, so if you are teaching any topic, you can first you understand how we are going to how the students are going to benefit it from those topics, whether those topics are really going to create some sort of product, or some they are able to generate different kind of skills among the students. Then only it is beneficial for the student, and then only we can have upper edge over the today's generation. So educator have also been the biggest influence in the students life. As I told you, uh, education sector is going through huge transformation, largely because digital technology, as I also already mentioned in that. And to understand the changing role of educator, let's first comprehend the significant traits of the current generation of students. As I told you, generation Z has supersonic brains and cannot imagine a time before technology. So he knows the technology better than us, better than the education, and because of that they process information faster than any other generation. So today's generation is very smart, and so we need to be more smarter than the today's generation. So generation Z is forced to be reckoned with the refuse to be passive learning. He wants to be active learning. You need to involve the students while the teaching. So what I mean to say over here, that the today's teaching method should be like that. It should be more student centric. The students needs to be involved, needs to be fully engaged in the process of learning. So then only he can understand, or in this way you can create some different kind of skills among the students, and because of those skills the students can get different kind of jobs, and he can do some better things in the society, because only the information is not sufficient. Different kinds of different kinds of skills are also important, and because of those skills, the students can compete with other students, and he can create some place in the global scenario. Now, so no, because of the requirement of the today's generation, that is called the Z. So there is a role of educator is changing if we compare with the older times. In older times, basically what we are just delivering the information. We are the source of information. But nowadays the role of educator is changing. So educators have to reinvent their roles to become equally co-learners and the collaborators. So that is a very important thing. Now, as I told you, gradually the time is changing and we are moving towards the digital technology. So the educator needs to be co-learners. He should learn along with the students. So then only he can evolve themselves and evolve their teaching methodology, and because of that he can cope up with the today's generation Z. So as a digital generation Z expects digital learning tools to be deeply integrated into their education. That is a very important thing. So this is the innovation which we need to create. For them, technology has always been a fully integrated experience in every part of their life, and they do not think education should be any different. They believe they should be able to seamlessly connect academic experiences to personal experiences through these same tools, because technology is gradually evolving, and it is not evolving only in other fields. It is also involving in the education. So it is very important. The educator needs to be equally co-learners and the collab. That is very important thing. And the today's generation cannot just be told what they must do, but rather they need to be inspired by the wisdom of educated teacher. That is very important. Means moral support is very important to decide for themselves and how they would like to use education as a tool for themselves. And education's mandate is to evolve and to make sure that adapt to the rapid changes that the newest generation of the learners demand. This is what I'm meant to say, that the to reinvent their roles to become equally co-learners and the collab. That is a very important thing. Now, does our education system provide the skills to prepare students for the outside world for employability? As I told you, because only the knowledge is not sufficient. We need to create some extra skills among the students, and because while using those skills, students can means today's students can place their position in the global scenario. So that is very important, because now the education is not the local or regional or national. It is become the global. So that's why the role of educator is gradually changing. So beyond teaching students prerequisite skills, educators and the institution need to take on the responsibility of helping students adapt learned skills to their working life. So that is very important thing. So the thing is that holistic approach means the different kind of skills needs to be incorporated among the today's generation Z, like soft skills. So there are different kind of soft skills, like communication skills, collaboration, you can say the teamwork, self-awareness, how work in the team. So these kind of soft skills need to be incorporated among today's generation. So we cannot just give the information. We need to create these kind of soft skills among the students. That is very important thing. Now, the cognitive activation, encouraging students to focus on methods they use to reach a solution rather than the solution itself. Means the path of solution, that is very important. Means how we are going to solve those problems, that is very important. So only giving information is not sufficient. How we can generate the information, how we can create the innovation in the information, that is very important. And personalized learning is very important, addressing the needs or interests of the individual student. So that is very important thing, because in a class there are different categories of students. So it's very important, we need to cater the needs of all the different kind of students. That is very important. So holistic approach we need to have, then only we can create we can develop some sort of some special skills among the students, and because of those skills, the students can place can compete with the open world. So what are those innovative teaching methods? So there are different innovative teaching methods like project-based learning. This I'm going to explain you in very detail. The next is flipped classes. Flipped classes means you are just giving notes to the students, and the students is going through those notes in their home itself, and after coming in the class, we are just discussing those topics. This is called the flipped classes. So that is very innovative method, and because of that, students can understand the topics in a very clear way, very clear manner. Now, experimentation learning, that is a very important thing. If you look at the science classes, so there is a involvement of the practicals means students are doing themselves, and if the students is doing something by themselves, so the the knowledge which he can retain is increases, and so that's why the experimentation learning is very important. Second is activity based learning. It is very important in the lower classes. Nowadays we are moving towards activity based learning. It is also the innovative teaching method. Simulation based learning, you must be knowing that, like the car crash or the or some there are different ways, means how we can learn the driving a vehicle, means without uh, actual things. We are just simulating those scenarios, and because of using those scenario in the simulation way, the students can learn those things, means there is no need of taking the actual things. So the third is second last is the virtual lab. Now this virtual labs concept is increasing, means the virtual lab concept uh, is gradually evolving after the COVID era. Means there are certain interior villages where there is no sufficient equipments. They don't have ample of funds, and because of they don't have the sufficient number of labs or the equipments, and because of that, what we can do, we can perform the laboratory practicals, and we can record those laboratory practicals, and we can show the students who are not going to present physically at the lab, and so they can understand those methodology or those experiments in a better way. So this is called the virtual lab. This concept is gradually increased. This is also the innovative teaching method. And the blended learning. Blended learning is very important innovative teaching method. So they are different innovative teaching methods, and I have mentioned mainly the eight one, but along with other than these eight, there are other methods are also there. So these eight methods are very important. So innovative teaching methods, you can say that it is mainly student centric. You are just involving the students in the process of learning, and because of that, the retention of knowledge is very high if we compare with the older methods. Now we come to the one of the innovative teaching method, that is called the PBL, project based learning. So that I am going to explain in little bit detail about the project based learning. Now, if you look at the history of project based learning, so there is a person, John Dewey. He is recognized as one of the early proponents of the project based learning, and the concept what he has given, that learning by doing means students is performing, or he is the part of that process of learning. So if you're doing by yourself, and and by doing those things, the students can learn those topics in a very effective manner. This is what you call the project based learning. So the teacher is not what was his views, that the teacher is not in the school to impose certain ideas or to form certain habits in the child, but is there as a member of the community to select the influence which shall affect the child, and to assist him in a properly responding to these. So we are not here to just disseminate the information, disseminate the knowledge, and we are here to make the constructive activity. We need to create the expressive or constructive activities by by which the students can learn the topics in a very very clear manner. So John Dewey first time conceptualized the concept of the project based learning. Now, the education research has advanced this idea of teaching and learning into methodology known as the project-based learning. So his concept was learning by doing. So nowadays, the people are the educators are saying it is a project-based learning. And William Hart Kilpatrick built on the theory of Davy, who was his teacher, and introduced the project method as a component of Davis problems method of teaching. Some scholars like James G. Greeno also associated project-based learning with John Pigot's situated learning, perspective and constructive theories. And Piaget advocated an idea of learning that does not focus on the memorization. Within his theory, project-based learning is considered a method that engages students to invent and to view learning as a process with a future instead of acquiring knowledge based as a matter of facts. As I told you, the creation of some new product, invention of something new. So if the students, if you want the students can create some new products, so for that the project based learning is very important tool, very important thing. So now if you look at the project based learning, it involves students designing, developing and constructing hands-on solutions to a problem. Actually, means if you look at the project based learning, so by project based learning, the students, you are going to inculcate different kind of soft skills among the students. As I told you, the soft skills are very important for today's generation Z. And if if he has those soft skills, and if he is expert in those soft skills, he can place himself in a better situation in the open global scenario. So because of that, if you look at the project based learning, so by project based learning you can create different kind of skills among the students. One of the very good very important skills called the teamwork. Students can learn how to work in the team. That is very important skills which we are going to inculcate among the students. Because after completing his education, if he's going in the field, so there he need to interact with different kind of persons, different kind of, he needs to face the different kind of situation. In that situation, he need to work in the team. So this is very important merit, or you can say advantage of project based learning, is that by this the students are becoming the part of the process, or the process of the learning. And because of that, because of that, there are different kind of skills you are going to inculcate among the students. So if you look at the phases of the project based learning, so it has total 4 phases. The first thing is identifying a problem. So this is very important thing. Means in this, what we are going to do in project based learning, you are giving a specific problem to the students. This is one thing. Second thing is that student, you are making free to students. Student can think of thought of any kind of problem by themselves. You can give them problem, or student can also think of any challenging problem by themselves. The first thing is that identifying a problem. Second is agreeing on devising a solution and potential solution path for the problem. So how to achieve to solve those problems, means how we can solve the problem. So that is important. Means or you can say that there is a if you look at any kind of problem that I'm going to explain with some live examples. If you look at any problem, so any problem may have one solution, but that solution may be obtained by different pathways. So what the students are going to learn, he can think. You are just going to increase the critical thinking ability among the students. Means how the students thinking for that problem, keeping those problems in their mind, and he is looking for what would be the probable pathways for the solution of those problems. So by the second point, what you are going to inculcate, you are going to increase the critical thinking knowledge, critical thinking skills among the students. Now, the third is designing and developing a prototype of that solution. Means, as I told you, there for a certain problem, there could be a different pathways for the solution. And out of those different pathways, those different methodology, he will try different methodology to solve those problems. And after going through different combination, different trials, he and last he will come to a conclusion that out of those 5 or 6 pathways for that solution for the problem, this pathway is the best. So this is called the designing and developing a prototype of that particular solution of the problem, of the solution of that particular problem. The third thing. And fourth is refining the solution based on feedback from experts, instructors, and the peers. That is very important thing. Means if he has if the students is able to find a specific solution for those problems, so what he is going to do next, he will discuss among other stakeholders, like he will take feedback, he or she will take feedback from the expert who is working in those particular area. He will discuss with the instructor, he can discuss with the other persons also. So in this way, he the this is what he call the uh, uh, means interaction ability, or the communication skills. By this particular point, we are going to inculcate the communication power. You are going to develop the communication power, how effective you can communicate with the other person. So by this, you are going to uh, give another skill. This is called the communication skills for the students. So if you look at the different steps involved in the project based learning, and every steps are going to add extra skills among the students, and by those skills the students can place their effective position in the society, in the global scenario. So the same thing I mentioned in my last slides, that the it has 4 steps: identifying a problem, and then agreeing on or devising a solution, and potential solution path to the problem, how to achieve the solution, means the SOP, a standard operating protocol, then designing and developing a prototype of the solution is called the SOP, then refining the solution based on the feedback from experts, instructors, and or the peers. Now, so as I told you, finding a problem is you are giving in terms of given constraints or the challenges. You are giving certain challenges to the students. Means you can give a problem in a different ways, like local problem, regional problem, national problem, global problem, depending upon the time what the students have. Like if he has the 6 month, if he has the 1 year, if he has 1 month, 2 months. So depending upon the time period, you can define the problem. Now, generating multiple ideas to solve a given, as I told you, there could be multiple ideas. So because of that, student, you're just increasing the thinking ability among the students, and because of thinking ability, he can think of out of the box. So that is very important thing. And the prototyping, often the rapid ideation, potential solution for problem, that is I already discussed you. Then testing the developed solution, products, and service a live authentic setting. So these are some important key processes involved in the project-based learning. So, so this is also this is already I explained you that defining the problem. What is the nature of the problem they are trying to solve? Means whether it is a local problem, regional problem, national problem. So depending on the type of the ample of time the students have, you can define the problem. And what assumptions can they make about why the problem exists? So means if you look by seeing the problem, students can develop different kind of skills among themselves. Now, so by project based learning, students should be given the opportunity to brainstorm and discuss their ideas for solving the problem. So this is already already mentioned in the last slide. And such brainstorming should encourage students to think widely but to stay focused on the problem. Yeah, this is very important thing. This is I just missed to explain you that when you are giving a specific problem to the students, when you are designing any problem, the problem needs to be very specific. It should not be in journal terms. If it is in journal terms, so students cannot focus in a specific area. So this is a very important thing. When you are going to give any kind of problem, the problem needs to be very specific. That is very important. Then only student can focus in a specific area. He cannot just divert themselves. So that is very important thing. And setting guidelines for brainstorming sessions, such as giving everyone a chance to voice. Yeah, that is very important thing. If you're making the groups of the students, so that is very important thing, that every student's involvement to solve those problems is very important. Like if you're giving any project like 4 students, so it is very important that you just do the division of labor. Means the this kind of work is done by this student, this part of work is going to done by this student. So there is a specific demarcation of the work, or the distribution of the work among the team of that particular group. That is very important thing. Now, this is the prototypic solution. As I told you, like the students is going for the different pathways or different methods for the solution of that particular problem. So he need to design a specific solution for that particular problem. This is called the prototyping designing. And after that, whatever the prototype he has designed, whether that prototype is uh, uh, the execution was done in the proper way, or he needs to take the feedback from the different stakeholder. Then only you can say that it is the authentication of solution which is given by the student. That is very important. So testing is very important to do the authentication of the solution of that particular problem. So in this way, testing engage students in the critical thinking and reflection of processes. So he learned these two soft skills by doing the project based learning. Now, as I told you, I'm just going to give a few examples. So there are some examples I am mentioning over here, because I am teaching biology. So I'm just giving few examples from the biology. So I'm just giving 4 examples. Like one is the two biochemical and molecular characterization of Narmada River water near the Gauri Ghat. So as I told you, when you are going to give any problem, any project work to the students, so it needs to very much specific. It can't be generalized. Like if I'm saying like to biochemical and molecular characterization of the plants, of the water, so this is very generalized. If I'm giving any problem, like as I told you, to biochemical and molecular characterization of water or characterization of river, so it is not specific. So specificity is very important whenever going to give any kind of problem to the students. So that the problem needs to be specific. Then only students can think in a convergent way. Otherwise, if you are giving the generalized problem, student may deviate from that particular pathways, and he cannot focus on that specific problem. So that is very important. Whenever you are going any problem, it needs to be specific. Like to isolate and characterize the bacterial population from the municipal wastewater. That is very specific problem. If I'm giving like to isolate and characterize the bacterial population from the wastewater, that is not specific. This is specific. To synthesize and characterize the gold nanoparticles from fungal origin. So these are some problems, and the only thing, because of that I have mentioned over here, the problem needs to very much specific. Specificity of the problem is very important. Then only you can create interest among the students, and students can focus on a specific a specific solution for a specific problem. Now, what are the advantages of PBL? Already mentioned. So PBL is a student-driven learning. As I told you, students are involved in the process of learning. So that is very important. And because the students are involved in the process of learning, so he can retain the knowledge. As I told in my second slides called the learning pyramids. If the students are involved in the teaching methods, so he can learn or understand the topic in a very effective manner, in a very ample of amount. And PBL is the 21st century skills. That's very good thing. Feedbacks and reflections are there, and by this you are going to create some extra skills among the students. Public presentation, yeah, that is very important thing. Like as I mentioned you, I had given a problem like uh, biochemical and molecular characterization of Narmada River near the water near the Gauri Ghat. So students is going to that particular area, and for that he has a good interaction among the other fellows, the local persons. So the communication skills definitely going to develop among the students, and driving the question challenges for passion. So they is learning from the various sources. So these are some very good advantages of the project-based learning. So that's why this method is a very effective method, and by which you can involve the students among the process of learning itself. So there are 4 P's in the project-based learning. Practice, learning through hands-on experience, because students is doing in various learning environment, setting to gain in depth of understanding and multiple perspective of the specific content. Project, a learning journey that takes place over an extended period of time and through various contexts, deliver deeper teaching and learning as long as the students are engaged. Problem solving skills you are developing, passion for the subjects you are going to just making the students more curious, because he's looking for different kind of pathways, different kind of solution for a specific problem. So he's become more curious about the subject. He involved himself in the particular subject. So these are very good advantages of the project based learning. So this is all from my side about the innovative teaching methodology, and I had given a specific and more fine idea about the project-based learning in my presentation. If anyone have any questions, any doubts, he or she can ask me.